What's up guys, this is iTweaks here, and today I'm going to be showing you the top iOS 8 jailbreak tweaks for the Messages app. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first tweak I want to talk to you guys about is called Custom Messages. Now this is a tweak that tried to follow the footsteps of Messages Customizer, which was a really popular tweak back in iOS 7. Now Custom Messages did have some issues right at launch and somewhat fell short of people's expectations, but at this point it does a pretty good job of theming the Messages app. So you can see right here, if we jump into our settings, you'll notice that if we go back here, this is the custom messages layout and settings panel. So you have just basically a kill switch right up here, then you have your bubble setting. So if you want to change the color of your bubbles, then you can do so right here. So you can change iMessage, SMS, as well as the receiver. So if we tap on iMessage right here, you'll notice that I have a custom layout where basically I have a pretty light teal color right up here at the top, and then towards the middle of the text we should get a little bit of a darker blue color, and then at the bottom it should be closer to black. So if you want to have a custom gradient color, then you're going to change these three colors, and then right here you're going to change this to custom gradient. Tapping right here, you're going to get some other options. You also have normal, you have the custom gradient, which I was just talking about. You also have custom solid, which is the bottom color of those three colors. You have Christmas, which doesn't look good at all in my opinion. You have random, and you also have transparent. So these are basically presets if you want to do that, other than the custom gradient as well as the custom solid. Those are ones you're going to set right here. So if you set it to custom solid, it's going to be the color of this bottom color right here. Now we also right down here have a highlight overlay color, so you can change that to whatever color you'd like. And this is what all the colors look like if you're going to customize them. Of course, if you know the hex color right there, then you can set that. If you don't, then you can just use your RGB sliders right here, as well as the alpha, which will actually give it color, as you can see right there. Now we also have the text color, which you can change URL text color. You have the send button color as well as the send progress bar color. Now if we go back here, you also can do the same thing for the SMS bubbles and also for the receiver, so you can change up the color right here. So let's go ahead and change this from normal to the custom gradient. That way we'll get these colors right up here at the top. And then right down here you can also change some borders. So if you toggle that on, this is where you're going to change the border color and size. So let's change the border color to white, which should be all the way to the right. And we'll go back, border size, that's probably good, and we'll leave the corner radius where it is. So once you make any changes, you will need to get out of the Messages app. As you can see right here, this is what it looks like before. So let's go ahead and close out of that, and then let's jump back in. Alright, so here it is after the changes we've made have taken effect, and you can see that it's kind of hard to see the receiver text right there, so we probably want to change that to white. But otherwise, this is a pretty cool way to theme your Messages app. You can see right up here at the top that we have the lighter blue color, and as we go down, we get the gradient down to a really dark color. So all in all, a cool Messages tweak. And next up, from what I mentioned before, we have Messages Customizer. Now this is in beta and it's not fully functional, but it still does work pretty well from what I've been able to tell. Now you're also going to need to add a repo for this tweak, and I'll put that in the link in the description below for you guys to just copy and paste. Now you can see right here, if we go ahead and tap on settings and we go over here to custom messages, or Messages Customizer, sorry, we're going to tap on this to enable it. Of course, to enable this, you will need to close out of your Messages app through the app switcher after you've made your changes. So right here, we're going to have our bubble color setting. So if we want to set our SMS bubbles, then you can do so right here. So you just want to turn on gradient. If you want to use a gradient, you can use the preset color. You can invert the gradient. You also have bubble opacity, the bubble color top, which will give you a little preview right here. You can see as I change this, it's giving you a little bit of a preview right there. You also have the bubble color bottom. And this is basically going to change from this color all the way to this color. And right down here, we also have text color, which you can change however you'd like. We're going to change this up a little bit to make it look a little more appeasing. Let's do something close to that. And we'll go back here. You also can do the exact same thing for the messages bubble, the iMessages bubble, as well as the other person's bubbles right there. So let's go back here, and you also have other color settings. So if we tap on this, it's going to change the app tint. So if we change this up, let's change it to something very noticeable right here. We'll just do yellow. And then you can change this, you preset, you can change the colors right here if you want to, or you can use the custom, which would be using these RGB sliders right here. Going back, we also have the background, so we can change the background color if we want to do that. So if we want to make it a little bit more of a gray color, we'll get this close It's kind of a blue-gray. We'll use that. And of course that had presets as well. As you can see right there, you can change all those right there. Going back, we can go back into the info text, and this will change the colors of that as well, just RGB sliders. You have some other settings which are going to change the chat view settings, which will allow you to change the bubble width. You have bubble tails if you want to use that. You have the bubble outline only. We'll tap on that. And you can also use flat bubble edges. So, I mean, obviously this is going to be all dependent on your preferences and something you're just going to have to mess with just because there's a lot of settings to mess with in Messages Customizer. You also have contact pick radius right there, so you can slide that up and down. You have hide group recipients bar as well as paged scrolling. Now if we go back here, you also have combo list settings, which you can see you can go through some of these settings right here. And going back, we also have black keyboard, we have black nav bars, and we have dark mode. So all those are toggled on right now, and that's pretty much my preference. I like the dark look of most applications when I'm using my device. Coming back down here, we also have compatibility, which allows you to toggle on Korea support, which I'm not even sure is actually updated for iOS 8. I haven't used it since then. I really haven't had an issue using my text messages with the quick reply like we have in iOS 8. So I'm not even sure if Korea is updated. So you can see right here we also have help. So if you tap on this, it's basically going to give you a very brief description of how to use the sliders as well as custom colors. So going back here, if we go ahead and close out of this and close out of our messages, we'll go back to the springboard here and then check out our changes. All right, so you can see right here, this is what it looks like now. So you can see that we have only the outlines instead of the entire bubble colored in. So that was one of the options that I chose. We also have the yellow text details and messages right there. So that's basically going to take effect wherever you see buttons. And then obviously, it's kind of hard to tell, but they are purple bubbles right up here at the top, and they gradiently change down into this blue color right here. Of course, the background right here is that gray color that I set. I think black would look a whole lot better on this. This is definitely not what I would theme my device or my Messages app to look like if I was actually setting this up. But you can just see some of the changes that have taken place using Messages Customizer. Next up, we have a tweak called Message Heads. And what Message Heads does, as you can see right here, is it gives you that Facebook style chat heads, except it's going to be for your messages and it's going to be accessible anywhere on your device. So it doesn't matter if you switch pages, if you open up an application, you can see just by tapping on this, we can quickly and easily respond in that conversation just by tapping on that little chat head right there, or message head. So if we go into our settings here and we go down here to message heads, you can see that we have quite a bit of settings to configure. First of all, just to enable this as well as enable it on the lock screen, you also can dock this on the side. You can open directly to keyboard rather than directly just to the messages, as you can see right there. So if we tap on open to keyboard, you can see that it opens directly to the keyboard. You also have group message heads, so if you have multiple ones, then you can group them into just one chat head right here, and then you just tap on that and then they layer themselves on the side of the dock if you have this selected right here. You also can mark read on typing. You can show the banners. Right down here you have chat head style if you tap on that, or we can toggle this off right there. You also have dismiss all on send, so if we toggle that on, once you send a message out, then all of those message heads go away, as you can see right here. If you don't have that toggled on, once you send a message, then it's just going to go directly back to where you had docked it. You can also enable rotation mode if you want to do that. I don't usually use rotation on my iPhone, so I don't really use it that much. Right down here we also have text size, so if you want to change that, if it's too big, if it's too small, then you can slide that up and down to get it just right. Coming down here we also have new notification location, so if you want to change where that notification comes from, you can do so right here. So basically when you get a message from anyone, it's going to give you the chat head. So when you get a message, it's going to pop up right here in the center of your screen. Then you can quickly just tap on that or dock it to the side, depending on whether you have time to respond or not. So this is where you're going to change where that notification comes to. So do you want it to be right in the center of the screen? Do you want it to be top center, top right, top left? That's where you can change this right here. Coming down here, we also have activator action, so you can show and hide your message heads just by using an activator action, as you can see right here. Coming back here, you also have quick compose action. If you want to do that, you can set that up with activator. Coming down here, we can change the colors. So do we want to use dark mode? I do. I like dark mode, so we're just going to toggle that on. We can also use blur. We'll toggle that on. And we can also change the typing color. So you can change it from cyan, yellow, purple, magenta. I'm going to go with white. And we're going to go back here to delete circle color. You can change that to basically any of these custom stock colors right here. So you just tap on that. And then right down here, we also have notification received color, which you can change up. We're going to do blue right here. Now coming down here, we also have iMessage colors. So basically, do you want to change the color of the bubble? We'll change that to a, let's do purple. And coming down here, we can fill the iMessage bubbles. Just toggle that on. And then you can change this for the SMS colors. You can do the exact same thing for the other message colors. So basically the receivers. So we're going to change this to, let's just do green, and we'll fill those bubbles. And you also right down here, you have text colors, which we're going to leave at white. So now when we get a message, we should get a message right in the center of our screen, or a message head right in the center of our screen, and then we can access it. All right, so you can see right there that when I get a text message, it's going to pop up right in the center because that's how I have it set. Now, if we dock this over to the right, we open this up, you can see this is where we have our dark mode, we have the blur back there, and we also have changed the colors of each of these message bubbles, as you can see right there. So a really cool tweak. I highly recommend checking this out. If this is something that you're looking for and you'd like to have those chat heads easily accessible right there anywhere on your device. Here we have a tweak called Message Autosave 8. Now what this tweak does is normally on iOS 8 when you receive a picture or a video, it doesn't automatically save to your camera roll. Well, with this tweak it does. So you can see right here, if we go into our settings here, this is the settings panel for Message Autosave 8, and just make sure that it is enabled. I do recommend toggling on confirm before saving, because when I had this installed a while back, it was actually continuously save the same picture over and over when it loaded. So you definitely want to check this just to make sure that you're not saving multiple duplicates of photos and videos. You can also resize your images and resize your videos if you want to. So if you tap on this, you can see that you can change this all the way from 95% down to 5%. Same thing with the videos. You can do low quality, medium quality, or high quality. So I choose not to resize anything. You can also, on error, save original media if you toggle that on. Basically what that does, as you can see right here, if an error occurs, the original media will be saved to the camera roll instead. So this is basically just in case it errors out when you're trying to resize. So going back here, if we go ahead and send ourselves a message, we're just going to use this photo right here, and we're going to send that to me and then send that off. And then this should give us a little pop-up once we receive the photo and ask us if we want to save the file. So you can see right here that we actually just got the message, and it's asking me before I even open the messages, do I want to save that file? So if I save it, then it's going to directly go into my camera roll, and then I can access it from there. So if we go ahead and open up the Photos app, and we go back and scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see the very last picture, the most recently saved one, is the one I sent off. And again, this is going to work for videos, but it can be kind of finicky, so just keep that in mind if you decide to install it. Next up, we have a really simple tweak, and it's called Send Delay. Now, this is for those of you that accidentally send messages to the wrong person or the wrong group. If you have an issue doing that, then it's possible to stop that message from sending after you've hit send with Send Delay. So you can see right here, if we go into the settings, this is all that it is, just a scrubber to allow you to change how long you want the duration to be to delay that message being sent. So you can see right here that I have it just set to 1.5 seconds, but you can go all the way up to 5 seconds. So if we go over here, let's just go to around 2, and then we'll go back down here. And then if we want to send a message, you'll just see if we type out hey, and I send a message to myself, you'll notice the stop button. And it's going to allow you to stop that if you want to for 2 seconds. So let's just send this again. We'll tap stop, and it doesn't send. So it's basically just adding a little bit of a timer right there in order to send that message. So next up, we have a tweak called Remote Messages. Now, this is a really cool tweak, but before I get into that, I do want to apologize for the audio quality of this portion of the video. I am right by my PC, and the fan is pretty loud, so hopefully you don't hear that too much and you can still hear me pretty clearly. Now, normally on a Mac, you can actually send and receive iMessages like you would on your phone. So you can type it out using the keyboard rather than actually having to use your iPhone. Well, now you can do that on your PC with Remote Messages. So the way that you do it is after you download and install this tweak, just open up your settings here, and this is going to be your remote settings or remote messages settings. So all you need to do is just enable it right here, and then you have your current IP right here. So now all you need to do is type that in to your browser. You're just going to type in the current IP, then you're going to put a colon, and then type in 333 because that is the port. And then this is going to be your login details right there. So you can obviously change this up if you just tap on this. Then you can change admin. The password is also admin, so if you want to change either one of those, then you can do so just by typing it in right here. I wouldn't mess with this stuff right now just because it's experimental, and you can also send crash reports if you want to toggle that on. And if you have any issues with this, you can always just visit their website right there. But once you have this set up, then all you have to do is go to your PC and then again type in that IP colon in that port number. So let's go ahead and switch over to my browser. Alright, so now that we're on our browser, all you want to do is just go up here and then type in your IP address that we saw in the settings, which was 192.168.0.100, and then colon, and then that port number, which for me was 333, and then we'll hit enter. And then right here, you're probably going to get a pop-up that says either enter your password, or enter your username and then enter your password. So you're going to need to put in by default admin for the ID as well as admin for the password. Now if you change this in your settings, then that's obviously going to change right here as well. So at this point, you're logged in and you'll see all your contacts, all your conversations over here on the right hand side. And then you can actually click on these and open up that conversation, as you can see right here. So if I wanted to, I could send a message right here and then hit send right here, and it's going to pop up, as you can see, on the message right there. So that's going to allow you to easily send messages using iMessage using your PC. Pretty awesome. You can also send attachments, and you can take pictures using the webcam. You can attach a photo. As you can see right there, you have attached file. You can start a new conversation, and then right here is your settings, which you can see you have general, so you have all these options to enter to send. You can replace text emoticons with emoji. You have sounds over here that you can use sound alerts if you want to. You also have notifications, which is experimental, as you can see right there. So if you want to enable that, then you can use these, but just know that it possibly might not work. Also right down here, you can change the appearance if you want to do that. You can use contact pictures in the conversation list, so right over here on the right hand side. You can also use contact pictures beside the messages. So for me, if I didn't have a Mac, I would definitely have this tweak. It's $3.99, but it lets you send iMessages directly from your PC, which is pretty awesome. Here we have a really cool tweak called type status. So if you guys haven't heard of that, it basically allows you to see when someone is typing to you right here in the status bar. And there's two ways to do that. You can see right here that if someone's typing to you, you'll get a little notification right up there at the top right hand corner. And you can also change that to a banner, which is something that I actually like a little bit better. But before I get into this, it does have some issues, and you can get the banner kind of stuck up there, or you can actually get the indicator stuck up there. It just kind of depends. It doesn't really work flawlessly, but it still is a really cool feature. So you can see right here, if we go ahead and tap on typing, you can change up the overlay. So do you want a status bar overlay, which you can see right there? That's what that looks like. And we can also go down here to status bar icon, which you can see right there. If we toggle that off, it still doesn't go away, so you can see that's kind of one of the bugs right here. You can also hide the text after delay, and you can hide inside messages, so you're not going to get that ellipses inside your messages if you do that. But let's go ahead and turn on the status bar overlay. That way we get that overlay right there. Now we also have red, so if you want the status bar overlay for red, which basically just says read by whatever the recipient is, you can also change that to the status bar icon, as well as hide inside messages if you want to do that. We're going to leave this as the status bar overlay right there. And then right down here, you can change the overlay display duration. So how long do you want that to be up there? Do you want it to be just for 2 seconds? Do you want it to be for 5 seconds? You can set that up right here. Right here, you can change the animation in which they dismiss and show up. So you can change this from slide or fade, or have them both. So if we change this to just slide, we'll go back here and we'll test the typing. You can see that it slides in right there, just like that. Of course, if we change this to fade, then we can go back here, and it doesn't look like it's actually changing. Oh, let's change that back right there. There's the fade right there. so it's going to fade right back out. So that's really all this tweak does. Instead of getting the ellipses only in the Messages application, you actually get it inside the status bar as well, right up here using type status. So let me know your favorite Messages tweaks in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more of my videos, then go ahead and subscribe. Alright guys, until next time, this is iTweaks with iPhoneHacks.com.